I'm going to try something a little different. I'm going to take a sip of water. My name is Natasha. This is Soft Adornments. And this isn't a knitting podcast, at least not like it used to be. I want to try something a little different with my channel in 2026 and beyond. And this isn't on some New Year's resolutions or anything, but just kind of I've gotten more into watching YouTube and I enjoy seeing what people are up to. I kind of enjoy seeing, creative people showing all the things that they're passionate about. I think that mosaic of interests really shows you about a person. And I wanted to, share more about my creative life. And I wanted to kind of expand outside the borders of the traditional knitting podcast format, because I was feeling like it was hard for me to keep up with that because my knitting doesn't work on that kind of schedule, but also I'm not always knitting. And I think that was a big point of realization for me, I guess. I know I do other stuff, but I wasn't making room for that in my online spaces. And I thought, YouTube is a great place for me to just kind of share what I'm interested in. So this is just me reintroducing myself, I guess. So if you've been here before, you know that I am a knitter, spinner, sometimes crocheter, occasional weaver. But I'm a lot more than that. I am also a big journaler. Right now, my phone camera is sitting on 2 of my old journals. I have a third that I was going to go through. This one's from 2020 to 2021. And I fear I am into Hobonichi. So I don't know if I'll make journal content per se, or maybe I will. I don't know. Lately, I've kind of made more room in my life for journaling. I had journaled, since 2017. Well, truth be told, I've been journaling my whole life, but I think the current iteration of my journaling practice, where I've been taking it seriously and making room for it and stuff, I've been doing that since 2017. So it's almost a decade of this journaling practice, which is wild to think about. But I'd kind of been on and off with it the past couple of years. And this year I got really focused in on it. And I'm excited to kind of continue this momentum of journaling that I've been on. So I would love to share more about my journaling practice. I don't know what that content will look like. I don't know yet if I will do journal flip throughs. I don't really do journal setups, so you won't see any of that here, but I think I'm more interested in talking about my relationship to journaling, maybe showing you a little bit of my journaling style, but I mostly want to talk about what journaling has done for me, and not in a salesperson this is why you should journal kind of way, but I think journaling actually served my artistic side in a really important way, and I would love to explore that topic with you all on YouTube here. So I'll probably talk about that, and related to that, through journaling I realized that I have a huge love of not just language, which I already knew, but lettering. So to take a step back, one big thing about me is that I studied linguistics when I was in university, and I grew up bilingual. And so I also just love learning languages. And studying linguistics and learning languages are 2 completely separate things, but I love both of them. So I've always known I've loved languages, but I think through journaling, I learned that it's not just language, but like the aesthetic of language. It's like lettering, like hand lettering, orthography, like writing systems, like handwriting. Just these, all these topics really fascinate me. And I'm thinking through some art projects around these themes. So I'll probably talk a lot about lettering and stuff like that on this podcast too. I also want to make more space for weaving. So recently I reorganized my craft room office. It's mostly my craft room given how much of my craft stuff is in here, but it's mostly used as my office because I work a corporate 9 to 5. So this is the desk that I work from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. And then after work, it becomes my craft room. So it had become kind of unwieldy and just, I felt like I was like almost drowning in my own stuff. And I went through a whole reorganization process during my Christmas break from work that I took. And that was really, really nice. To be honest, I didn't reorganize everything. I wanted to do just like a top down complete reorg, just like gut it all and start over. But I ended up just allocating one day. And so I was like, I'm going to do one day of reorg. But no, I'm really happy with the results I got. And the point of me saying this is through my reorg, I actually created more space for my journaling. I created more space on my desk so I can use it for all the things I use it for. I set up my fancy new loom that I got for Christmas last year on its own table, so I can actually weave on it, and I have ideas for a weaving project that I'm going to start on it, so you might be hearing about that too. And I don't know, I think another thing about me is that I get really excited about learning all these different skills and crafts, and I take something, I get really excited about it, I go really deep into it, I make it I almost like try to make it stressful for myself, not on purpose, but I get so excited about something, I'm like, how can we monetize this? How can I create a whole thing around this? How can I become an expert in this? How can I become the best person at this thing? Because if I'm not the best person at it, then why am I doing this, And I think this last year, I took a step back from that kind of a relationship with my craft. I did a lot of stuff that wasn't craft. And when I realized how much I missed craft, it brought me back to why I started crafting in the first place, which is connection to the things that I make, connection to other people through the things that we make, confidence in myself and my own abilities, the feeling of being self-sufficient, the feeling of learning new things. I think learning is one of the best things in the whole world. I haven't been in school in a really long time and I really miss it. But learning new skills has been a great thing for me. And I don't know, I'm really excited to make things for me and make things that feel fun to make and make things just to try something, even if it's like a stinky little project, like it doesn't have to be palatable or sellable. It doesn't have to be any of those things. Like I can just make something because I feel like making it. And that's something I needed to remind myself of. No one else has to give me that permission, only me. And I think I'm finally ready to give myself permission to do that. It's a very full circle moment. I feel like that's kind of where I started. And then after a few years of knitting and being on the internet, I think I took certain things more seriously than others. I think that the things I was taking seriously back then are not the same things I'm interested in now. I think at some point it was really fun for me to try vending and try like selling my fiber art at a market, trying to like find a signature product. And I think that was really fun for a time. And I made friends through vending, and I learned a lot being a vendor. I didn't even do that many markets. I think I did like maybe 6 or 7 total. But I think through that process, I learned a lot about my relationship to my craft. I got a little burnt out on my craft. But overall, it just taught me the kind of relationship I want to have with my craft. And for that, I'm really grateful. I didn't come to this with a plan, so I probably wandered away from a few topics. But let me try to tie it up a little bit. So I'm excited to weave on my new loom. I have some ideas. I did a reorg. The thing I forgot to say about the reorg is that I filmed a video about it that I'm working on editing. So keep an eye out for that if you're interested in seeing my mini reorg process. My content, I think, is going to be more like lifestyle content. I like the kind of content where you're kind of hanging out with someone while they're crafting or going through their days. And as they're going about their days, you know, maybe they'll share some musings or something. That's the kind of content I want to make because that's what appeals to me. I want to show you my crafting processes, talk out loud, think out loud about these kind of really cerebral topics I'm interested in. And I just want to hang out. Is that okay? Is that allowed? Can I do that? If you want to just hang out and listen to me ramble about whatever I'm interested in, whatever I'm writing about in my obsidian that day, then, you know, stick around. I'll be making videos. I'll try to make a video about every like month or 2. So I'm gonna keep it slow and reasonable, but my goal is like a handful a year to start. And maybe I'll do it more often. I don't know. If you're down to stick around while I figure out my format, change a couple things around, try talking about a few different things, then I would love to have you. Please leave a comment if you have any thoughts about languages, hand lettering, journaling, obsidian. I just started using obsidian. I love it. It's so weird. It's amazing. Yeah, if you have any thoughts about any of those topics, let me know. I would love to hear what you think. Let me know if there's anything specific that you want me to talk about, and I would love to make a video about it. If you have any questions about anything I was working on a few years ago, like let me know. Maybe I have an update. Most likely not, but if you're wondering, just let me know. And yeah, I'm excited to start making videos again. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.